up guys, it's Ryan and you're watching Ryan Vision. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more. Also check out projectzj.com for all the videos. Today just have a couple updates for you. The first one, if you've been following the videos, you can tell front has changed a lot. The factory bumper is finally gone. Still got the Rough Country winch plate on there and the Rough Country winch. But now I've had Chance over at Cali Fabrication in Antelope, California, basically Sacramento area, California. Did his website a while back, and now he's doing my bumper. So phase one is done. Basically have the top bar and the stinger. Going to be doing some more bars and also a skid plate and centering up the winch. So I'll go through all of that. Also on the rear end, have a brand new D44A skid plate with pinion guard from mountainvistafabrication.com. Neil sent this over along with the new version of his steering box brace. I have the first version of that. It's been working out awesome, so I can't wait to try the second version. So I'll be putting that on soon. Haven't done that yet, but the skid plate is on. So let me show you that. Let's get right into it. Alright, so this is the D44A skid plate and pinion guard from mountainvistafabrication.com, and it's completely bolt-on. It was a really quick installation. The only tricky part at all is if your brake line on the driver's side on the top of the axle tube, you can see it right there kind of hooking up just before the differential. If that is too low and close to the axle, you may want to remove it. Or like in my case, I just bent it up a little so I didn't have to pop it off and mess with the brakes anymore. So I just bent it up out of the way enough that I could get the top half circle bracket over the top side of the tube. Passenger side, you won't have that problem at all, so don't even worry about that. But it's completely bolt-on. All I did was did it by myself, got under the Jeep, laid on my back, held up the bottom portion of the skid plate up to the axle just to kind of see how it was going to fit. And sorry guys, Taurus fan just kicked on. But you know, just held it up, and basically the lips on the lower side sit flush right against the center housing where the tube goes into the housing, so it sits flush up against that. And it was real easy to see that the narrower top bracket went on the driver's side, and again, that's that brake line issue I was telling you about. So the narrower bracket goes on the driver's side, the wider bracket goes on the passenger side, and just once you get it into place, put all the bolts in, and you know, get the nuts just snug, don't tighten anything, and then get to the front where the pinion guard is, and same thing there, get the bolts through, make sure it's lined up right on the nose there of the center housing, make sure everything's sitting nice and flush the way it's supposed to, and then just start snugging it up. I just kind of made up my own rotation, you know, tightened the axle tube clamps a little, then snugged up the pinion guard a little bit, and then circled back around and just kept snugging until everything kind of moved where it needed to be, and you know, got everything nice and tight. It's definitely not going anywhere. So this is a great mod for any ZJ or WJ running the D44A rear axle. You know, it's a pretty good axle. I haven't had any problems with it. The biggest weak point is that aluminum center housing. That's why the A is in D44A. But other than that, it's been pretty strong. There are some gear options and locker options for it. Not nearly as much as like a normal 44, of course. But there are some lockers and things that you can do, chromoly shafts and everything like that. So I feel pretty confident now having this armor on the bottom, because on the Rubicon I definitely smacked that aluminum a lot. I remember Nate and I were joking, we both had D44As, and there were all these silver rocks on the Rubicon when we got done, you know, a couple times back. So I feel good about it. Now this is armored up, I think I'm going to actually build this axle a little bit and see where it can take me before I go to full widths, because I'd like to throw some chromos in here and some 456s or 488s with a locker. This thing does great off-road already, so you know, I imagine with that kind of a setup I'd be doing even better, and maybe that'll keep me happy. I'm not so sure I'm ready to go full width yet. I mean, on the trail I kind of like the lines I could take with the stock axles, and I like how I can tuck them up into the body, you without having a lot of issues with like the fenders and stuff. So we'll see. Maybe now that I'm armored up, I'll build these and see where they can go. So let me just give you another angle real quick, and then we'll go over the bumper. Alright, so I just wanted to give you a view from the back so that you can see, how it fits under the differential cover. And you can see Neil, at mountainvistafabrication.com, he did a very good job of keeping it as close as possible while still providing all the protection that you need. So, it is nice and snug up against the housing as close as it can be. But now you can see the back sides of those top brackets I was talking about. So now you can tell that the driver's side on the left there is thinner than the passenger side, and you can see it's because it's against that little brake line block on the axle tube there. So like I said, just snug them all up, and while you're snugging up the pinion guard too, and just do an even rotation until they're all really tight, and that'll kind of get the diff cover to center itself. You don't have to really worry about aligning it. You can see how flush it sits to where the axle tube goes into the housing. So it'll center itself, don't worry about that. Just snug it up in a nice even rotation, you'll be good to go. The differential cover, it looks really beefy. That's from Blue Torch Fabrication. I had that before I got the differential skid plate, and it's helped too. When you back up, you can really bend a factory differential cover. In fact, I bent mine in 2 places, and it was bent bad enough that the gears were actually cutting, self-clearancing to the inside of the diff cover. And if you get enough of that, you can actually cut a little fine crack or little hole in the diff cover, and then you'll be dripping fluid out. So it's good to have a beefy cover like this, something really thick that you can bash into a rock and it'll just take the abuse like the skid plate. Alright, so I'm not going to use the tripod for the bumper portion of this video. I want to give you guys a good look from several different angles. So like I was saying in the beginning of the video, this is just phase 1. We've got the top bar, and basically we wanted to keep it pretty flush with the bottom of the turn signal light there, and just come back enough to protect that fender. So you can see where we've got it cut it off there. I might do an angle cut on that later and cap the ends, we'll see. And then we were talking about, the great thing with Chance at Cali Fabrication. You can check him out on califabrication.com. Again, he's in Sacramento, California. The great thing with him is, he'll call you, he'll text you while he's working on your rig. So, originally we were thinking about doing, round tube from the lower bar up to the stinger. But then he started showing me these dimple dies and all this stuff. And I'm going, man, I really like that. That's kind of different. So, we ended up with this, and he's texting me going, hey, is this tall enough? Is this wide enough? And I had some suggestions, and he followed those, and then we ended up with having 3 dimple dies cut in here. So it looks really cool, and the best thing is, it's custom fabricated. There's no other bumper like this. It's going to have its little differences. So ended up going with that instead of the round tube. Stinger, he pretty much did the measurement and angle himself. Really happy with the look. It's got a nice aggressive look, but I don't think it's too big, and it's just the angle really works with the lower bar too. So you can tell we built it off the existing bolt-on Rough Country winch plate. So this is all from the Rough Country kit, and you can see he did a lot of cutting too. All of the factory bumper has been cut off, and later on, we'll go back and get this all cleaned up and painted and everything like that. But all the factory bumper stuff's cut off, which means the airbag sensor was removed, and on the other side the dual horn setup was removed. So still got some cleanup work to do here, but this is all Rough Country bolt-on winch plate. And the one thing I hate about this winch plate is it's off-center. It's staggered, so the winch actually sits closer on the farther over on the driver's side, and I hate that. I can't stand it. You can tell the fair lead's not centered. So what I want to have Chance do as we get farther along in this bumper project is cut that front plate off the winch plate, that triangular plate, and center the fair lead up, re-drill the plate itself so we can center the winch up, and that way everything's centered directly under the stinger. I think that'll look a lot better, and I'll just paint everything the same black that I've been using, which is just a Rust-Oleum semi-gloss black. It works really well. Good coverage, nice just kind of dull shine to it, nothing too crazy, but I think it looks really good. So show you this side too. dimple dye. It goes really nice with the black grill, the 5.9 grill. And same thing on this side, probably cut that at an angle and cap it off eventually. So yeah, we're thinking, you know, some lower bars going down to the bottom of the support. Who knows, maybe another dimple dye in there somewhere. And then a skid plate in the front kind of going down to the radiator support. So, so far I'm really happy with the way the bumper's turning out. Can't wait to see it when it's all done. It really gave the Jeep a whole different look. Just looks a lot more aggressive now. And especially from the front, without all the factory bumper in the way, you can really see the tires. And you know, those are 35-inch tires, so when this thing comes rolling up behind you, it looks pretty big. I like how it looks. I like the aggressive stance it's got now. So yeah, I can't wait to see the bumper when it's all done. Kind of going with a black and white theme on the whole Jeep now, and I like it. I just I think it looks good. I think it looks different. I see a lot of Jeeps in my area, but I haven't seen any rolling the black and white theme like this. I've seen a few of you guys on Instagram, but you know, locally there's not too many, so kind of representing my own look. And so far so good. So again guys, check out Neil at mountainvistafabrication.com. He's been an excellent sponsor to work with. The guy makes so many cool things for ZJs and WJs, and he's always coming out with something new, so check him out. And I'll keep you guys posted on the bumper from califabrication.com. Alright, until next time guys, see ya.